Welcome to Two Old Men. The Slightly Warped Podcast. I'm Rick, joined as always by Big Show. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Still working through everything, but I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm best I can, As long as I'm always on the north side of the dirt, I'm good. Um, until I'm not. And then it becomes somebody else's problem.
Yes, yes, sir.
Um, just chilling. Sick of this rain. I'm gonna stop complaining about it eventually. Well, it seems like every episode I start off complaining about the weather. Until it's 72 and sunny, I guess I'm I'm just gonna be that old man. Complain,
I mean,
complain,
yeah, right.
complain.
Two old men podcast. So these damn whippersnappers in this rain.
I know, right? I have one complaint, and it's killing me. All right,
What's that?
I drive a Ford Escape, and the ride itself is fine. So I put a CD in the other day, listened to it on the way home from work, pulled in the driveway at home, got out. CD didn't come out. It just spins in there. No matter how many times I hit eject, it will not eject. And huh, in the next couple days, I guess I'll get out there and tackle it and try to figure out a way to get it out. There's it's pet peeve. And I never use the CD player. So, I don't know what possessed me this time to try that.
Yeah, that's
I've
why I
got a
use my
USB and I
iPod.
usually exactly.
Yep.
But this was a CD that I did not have on the music thing yet. So I just like, let me just check it out now. Yeah, not so much. So,
It's gonna be all scratched up when you get it out.
oh God, I hope not. Oh well, that serves me right. Um, but I did some research on YouTube and I did hear that that is a common problem with most of the older cars that have the in-dash CD players. I
Oh,
just
really?
never had it happen to me. Oh well, got to do what I got to do. Uh, good thing it showed me a few ways to get it out. I'll try those, and I'll let y'all know next week if I got it out and if the CD was mangled. But
There
if
you go.
that's the biggest worry that I have right now, I'll take it. So we're continuing on today with true crime TCT, and this one is a little different. I mean, we're talking about Michael Jackson, and the reason why I wanted to talk about it, there was a teaser several weeks back from TMZ, who originally broke the story of Michael Jackson's passing. And Harvey, the executive producer, I forget Harvey's last name, um,
Not
has
Weinstein.
no, not Weinstein. TMZ's Harvey. Uh, he stuck with this story because from the moment it happened, he said it didn't set in his mind right what was happening, with the Conrad Murray trial, and that was it. And he did dig a little deeper, I'd say a lot deeper, and they did some interviews of surviving people as well. I believe it came out last Tuesday or the Tuesday before last from TMZ. It's a little over an hour uh, documentary, and I checked it out. Did you have a chance to see that yet, Big Show?
I was able to watch about the first 20-25 minutes of it. I haven't completed it yet.
Okay. Um, we already know the situation with Dr. Conrad Murray, but what I found was so much more. All right. Um, call me oblivious to that celebrity lifestyle and all that, but I had no idea that Michael Jackson was that addicted to drugs. I did not know. Um, not only that, but because of his money, his power, and his influence, Unlike you and me, the layman, who would have to go seek out someone to get what we needed, he had the power to have anything and everything come to him whenever he wanted. And because of that, it was pretty much hidden from almost everyone. And there was one doctor in particular, his name was Dr. Klein. And I guess he was good friends with Michael. And I want to go over that here in just a second. But because of that, he was able to spend a lot of time with Jackson. Um, Sometimes go on trips with him, spend weekends with him, and just supply him with whatever he needed 24/7. And that is one of the things that they mentioned in this thing that actually started to lead to Michael's regression and ultimate downfall. And I guess I'll just jump to it right now. Do you think that a medical doctor can or should be close friends with a patient?
Yes.
You don't think there's a conflict of interest?
What would the conflict of interest be? So you have to, your question was just a simple question. Could they be friends with the patient? Yes. Should they be friends with the patient and not um, follow the Hippocratic Oath? Then the answer would be no.
Yeah, I mean,
But I mean, just I don't think there would be no more than a police officer being a friend with a convicted felon. There's not a conflict of interest, in my opinion.
well, just looking from what I saw on here, Klein got wrapped up in the lifestyle. He would go to these parties with all these celebrities and millionaires, and they would ask him to supply them with certain drugs. And Debbie Rowe, that would be Michael's
Wife,
ex-wife. Well, yes, were they still married when he passed? I'm not sure,
I'm pretty
but
sure
yeah,
they were married.
okay. She mentioned it because obviously she was a nurse and she worked with Klein for a specified amount of time. Uh, and it wasn't just Michael; it was other celebrities at these parties. They'd have him bring drugs in, and she said that it'd be like a candy dish. People just grab and pop pills, and she feels, and I can understand that, and this is the reason why I had asked you that question. She felt that the doctor, Dr. Klein, was wrapped up in that lifestyle and wanted to live that life with them, be part of that. And that's the reason why he used his power to get them what they needed.
Come on now, let's be real. He wasn't just supplying these things. Them mofo's paid him very well to get that medicine. He was a glorified street drug dealer. I mean, that's all he was. He had the legal good shit that they wanted. I
And that's
wouldn't
why
consider the word friends with them at all.
and
He
that's
was
why
being a
I brung
drug
the original
supplier.
question to you as a conflict of interest. Because if you're going to be a friend, and you're right, you can be friends with the patient, but you also have to tell the patient no. And that's where I feel he dropped the ball.
But they weren't patients.
No, but I'm
That's
talking about in Michael's case, because in
yeah.
Michael's case, they were
Michael wasn't a
friends.
patient. Michael was a customer.
Mm, mm. That's a great way to look at it.
He wasn't a friend. Wasn't a patient.
Yeah. Then we get then that's another line crossed then. Instead of the friend doctor, You go doctor, drug dealer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the doctors were wrong for doing what they did, because there was no health reason for him. I mean, I guess his issue was he couldn't fall asleep. Well,
Well,
you'll be awake long enough. Eventually, your body will crash.
let me
But
go back,
there were a bunch of
just for
different
people.
drugs that he was
Yeah,
in.
yeah. Let me go back for people that have not seen this yet, and I'll actually link the TMZ thing in the description of the podcast here. Um, so if you're watching on YouTube, you get a chance to see it.
But first of
Mike,
all, before we go there,
when he was younger. Okay, go ahead.
before I just want to throw this out there, just for those that don't know, the main drug that they were that was the problem was he was injecting himself with propofol, which and I think what didn't they say the doctor diluted it with lidocaine or something like that, some of that nature.
Was it lidocaine?
I think it's I think it was lidocaine. But anyway, propofol is one of the drugs that they inject you when you're getting sentenced to death.
It's
So
also
that's
an
how serious
anesthetic.
that drug is.
It's also
Right, but
anesthetic.
that's
Yeah.
the drug that they send you. Propofol is the first injection you get when you get the lethal dose.
Hmm.
Lethal injection. It puts you to sleep. And then they hit you with the other two to stop your heart, stop your breathing. But just kind of how strong this particular drug was that he was using just to go to sleep.
Yeah. Um, Backing it up a little bit though. During the great Thriller days, do you remember the commercial that they shot? The Pepsi commercial when his hair caught on fire and burned his scalp.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yes.
he had second and third degree burns, and they say that is when the drug use actually started. He was in the hospital for a couple
Yes.
days, and he discharged himself early against the doctor's advisement. I don't know what all happened after that, but people speculated that he's been trying to keep commitments, do this, do that, and manage pain. So that's where the painkillers came into play. Then years later, he's doing the bad tour, the dangerous tour. Um, they said between recording, touring, and special engagements, it was just taking a toll on his body. And he reached a point where it went from pain management to not being able to sleep. And um, that's where the propofol, I believe, did I pronounce that correct or not, came into play.
Uh-huh.
And that is the main thing that he was using um, towards the end of his life. And they also said that the toxicology report showed that what was in his system when he passed, they said was enough to take down a rhinoceros. So I'm like, damn. So he built up that kind of tolerance to it. So,
Well, you also got to look at it too, is that they would whoever was helping him go to sleep with it would also give him a drug to wake him back up in the morning.
mhm.
So, you're all those years of it forced in coma and forced waking up. I mean, yeah, it had to take a toll on that body.
Yeah, it's scary. Now, I'm a guy that although I'm proud to say it, it's not with pride that I say it. I've never taken a drug in my life. So I can't
Mm.
identify with the need to use anything.
Okay, I'm a part.
That's
You've
not a
never taken
negative.
a drug. You've never taken a drug in your life.
No, no, I'm talking about street drugs, not aspirin or
Okay.
anything like that now.
I mean, you haven't like had a surgery. You haven't been prescribed, something for pain.
Other than high blood pressure, those are the only pills that I've ever taken. But I get what you're saying, but I'm talking drugs. Because the reason why I'm
If you're talking
equating it,
crack,
the reason why,
meth, you
yeah,
gotcha.
well, the reason why I'm equating it to hardcore drugs is because the man was taking something that you don't just get over the count. He was taking something that he really shouldn't have been. And I feel that no doctor in their right mind should have prescribed this. I feel like there could have and should have been another way. They even tried an intervention. Uh, I think it was,
Allegedly.
yeah, Liz Taylor tried it, and a group of friends and family. I don't know how well an intervention works for anything because at the end of the day, you're going to do what you're going to do. Um, it's how bad you want to stop doing it that makes the intervention successful. I don't know, and I didn't see anything in this program at all where anybody said, implied, or we felt that Michael wanted to get away from this. And I think that was the danger right there. He had the money, he had the ability to get what he wanted when he wanted. So there was never any need to not do it. And that is the most dangerous thing of all. You feel me?
I do. I'm sorry, I was just reading some more about it. Yeah,
Yeah, no.
he had to have wanted to, but like when I say allegedly, because this reads that Janet Jackson claimed that her and the family tried to stage an intervention like in 2007
Mm.
when Michael was still living in Las Vegas. And she and a number of the brothers allegedly traveled to Michael's home, but were denied entry by Michael's security guards, who ordered them not to let them enter. After his death, the family denied that they ever tried to intervene.
Mm. Wonder why they would deny that.
And then it shortly after that, they said who Latoya, after he's dead, said that he was murdered for his music catalog. That it was all part of a bigger plan.
Do you agree with that?
I don't know. Who knows? I mean, is it plausible? Yes.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, but we haven't really heard nothing else about. Nobody else is controlling his catalog, are they?
Doesn't that still belong to the family? It's either the
D-
family or Sony.
Only if the family had any parts ownership to it to begin with.
Here's the thing. Nobody's done anything with it, so
Right. That's why I think that's unless somebody's just collecting a check. Because I'm sure every time a Michael Jackson song gets played on the radio or downloaded or whatever, there's some sort of percentage kickback that goes to him.
yeah, but I feel like that if somebody had that, they would probably get a little more greedy with it and you'd hear more Michael Jackson stuff on commercials or in TV shows and movies. That way they could make the real money. But I
True.
digress. I could be wrong about that. Um, and I also feel like there'd be more unreleased music that would get released so that money could be made out there too. So I just don't feel like there was any malice involved in regards to his music
I
catalog.
mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be not. I mean, I really don't know. It's plausible.
And then there
Kind
may
of
be
Whitney
something that
Houston.
we
Did
don't
she
see.
really drown in a bathtub?
Mm. Um, I would be more apt to believe that. Um, and that's the reason why I brung up the drugs thing. it's just so hard for me to wrap my head around it because I don't understand it.
It's not for me because he's a rock star, and that's kind of sex, drugs, rock and roll. That's pretty much
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
what it was, you know. So um, it's not difficult for me to believe that he was a drug addict. I do believe that when he did suffer those burns from that Pepsi commercial, that may have ignited his addiction. Um, and you know, addiction is whatever you're addicted to, whether it be drugs, food, porn, sex, uh, shit, working on cars, running. I mean, it could be anything that you're addicted to. Video games, um, they all have a negative side effect. Every single one of them, even the ones that you think are good for you, i.e., running.
Hmm.
Running's great for you. However, it's kicking them joints and ankles and tearing up your pocketbook because you're having to buy shoes all the fucking time because you're running out of
I
tread on
can
your shoes. It's like
definitely
changing a
attest to all
tire.
that.
So, I mean, there's different levels of it, but
Yeah.
addiction is a bitch.
Now, I do, while we're talking about addiction, it wasn't just the burns after that that ignited Michael's addiction. He also did get several uh, surgeries, plastic surgeries. No big secret
Yeah,
there.
see, I think
You
that
could tell
was more self esteem issues.
it was, and they mentioned that during the thing too. Um, he was he was chasing a certain dragon. He was looking for a type of beauty that we as man can never find. You're gonna you're gonna keep looking for that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow until you run out of light. Um, I don't care who you are, what you look like. There's always going to be somebody that looks better than you and somebody that looks worse than you. Period. That beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And I myself could never go under the knife to change anything. I know other people have and would do it in a heartbeat to change things, and I get that completely. Uh, it's your personal preference. It's just something that I couldn't do, and I think Michael did it, and I think he just went too far with it.
Again, I think he was addicted to changing the way he looked.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, didn't our
Addiction
boy
is a
send
good
us a
word.
picture of Sammy Sosa for Neapolitan
Yes.
and ice cream? I mean, another shining example. Lil Kim, another shining
Yeah.
example. Um, they hate what they look like in the mirror so much that they want to change it, and they have the money to change it. But yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, if I had the money, what I mean, who knows? Who knows if I would try to do some stupid shit like that? But I think that was also part of his addiction. He was addicted from the burns. Then he started changing himself, got addicted to the that. Those implied more drugs to keep the pain from his surgeries, and it just was a snowball effect.
Yeah. And we talked about Conrad Murray. He was the doctor that administrated the propanol. We talked about Dr. Klein, Debbie herself, who said that, she wished that she could have done something about it. But one thing that Murray mentioned at the end of the documentary, which is 100% spot on, the one person that really killed Michael Jackson was Michael Jackson. Um, his addictions caught up with him. I mean, at the end of the day, he was the fuel to his own fire.
Agreed. And I think you had asked, do I agree, or your text said something? Do I agree about Murray being you know, get being held the bag, holding the bag, I guess, for it.
Yeah, and I asked that because of the Dr. Klein thing.
And I'm gonna say yes because normal drug overdoses.
Hmm.
When you talk about uh who's that fat comedian that was in uh he- Chris
Are you
Farley.
Chris Farley? Okay.
Chris Farley. Self-inflicted drug overdose. The lead singer of Nirvana, self-inflicted drug overdose. Uh, Belushi,
Yeah.
self-inflicted drug overdose. And there's plenty. I mean, even people say Whitney Houston, self-inflicted drug overdose, drowned in the bathtub. Michael's wasn't self-inflicted. He may gave him permission, but it wasn't self-inflicted. He wasn't shooting himself up. There was another responsible party that agreed to do it, and their actions caused. Because what if they decided not to do it that one time? Would Michael still be here?
I think he would have found somebody else that would do it.
But that's my point. But what if that person said no? Would Michael ever? Because why was he asking everybody else to do it? Why wouldn't he do it himself? That's
I,
where
yeah, I
I
see
I
what you're
kind of
saying.
lean. Why were you not, if you were so addicted to it and you had to have it, and people, if these people told you no, what would your fallback be? Would you try to do it yourself? Would you try to use other means to fall asleep? I mean, I don't know. But the fact that there was a responsible human being that said, yes, let me inject this in your system, knowing damn good and well you shouldn't. Yeah, he deserves to be sentenced to death, or, for murder, manslaughter, whatever it was.
Yeah. I just found it bizarre that during Murray's trial, they weren't allowed to put Klein in the trial and put him on the stand as well, because he did also supply Jackson with drugs, and
But
I don't.
it wasn't a trial for the medical administration doing wrong.
Mhm.
It was a Murray trial,
Yeah,
had nothing to do with anybody else. Kind of like OJ or any other murderer, out there. Just because somebody else may have beat that person up doesn't mean they get to testify in that. Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying?
yeah, that makes sense. No, so let me ask
I
you
do
this then:
think they could add more to it and maybe try to convict him.
do you think that 4 years was enough of a sentence for Murray?
Mm, that's a good question. Did he got convicted of manslaughter? What did he get convicted of? What was his actual conviction?
I'm not sure how they.
Wrongful death.
I think it was wrongful. I don't think it was manslaughter. I think it was wrongful death, wrongful termination, or something like that. Kind of like
No,
a
I
you
don't think it
remember
was long.
you remember Dr. Jack Kevorkian,
Yes.
who would always take those old people that wanted to die. They
Hmm.
actually wanted to die, and he would go ahead and dose them and,
And
and take them out of their misery.
he would humanely put them to sleep like we
Yes.
do dogs and cats.
Yeah.
No, I don't think 4 years was enough. But
Okay.
you know, um, I don't think the doctor meant to kill him. So maybe 4 years is okay. But he's lost his license. I'm sure he can't be in the medical field no more. He can't do none of that. I'm sure he lost all that once the conviction went through. Plus, the whole
Oh,
world hates you because you killed a world icon. You know what I mean?
agreed. I mean, he's going to be living in his own private hell for years to come.
And after, if he doesn't get his life right.
There you go.
But it was a sad day. It's a day I will remember. I remember
Yeah,
when I was told, I didn't believe it. I was like, "Oh, you tripping," and then it hits. It's Michael was a big part of our generation's growing up. We kind of grew up with him
yeah.
in a sense.
I remember it so strongly. I just got off of work. I was on my way home, and it came on the radio, and I'm like, "Quit playing. Who's playing?" And
Yeah,
and and
same.
then they mention it again. I'm like, "Oh shit, this is real. Michael Jackson dead?"
And then watching the funeral on TV and all that
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah. It was all very surreal. Um, never be another one like him.
yeah. And nobody wins this race on this earth. We're all gonna cross that line and of moving on to whatever's next.
We talk about entertainers that overdosed. The great Jim Morrison from The Doors,
Yes,
uh, who also lost his struggle. I think it was alcoholism for him. His quote, uh, "Nobody gets out of life alive,"
they don't. Nobody
and
does.
there's
Many have
no truer
tried,
words. Yeah, show me a man that's successful, and I'll show you a man that lied.
and I'll be
Because
honest. I don't know if I'd want to live forever.
yeah, you got that right. Because
At least not on this world.
yeah, think about all the things that we've seen so far. Do you really want to see more of it?
And what's yet to come.
Mm-hmm.
Because biblically speaking, that could be one hell of a podcast show someday. Biblically speaking, those times might be closer than we think.
Yes, I believe they are. That you're right though. That's another podcast for another time because we could have lots of opinions on that. But yeah, Michael
That
Jackson,
might be a
global
good
icon.
that might be a good forum podcast. Get some different people's opinions on here
Ooh, that would.
and discuss that.
I like your line of thinking.
A town topic type of
Hey,
podcast.
if anybody wants to come on here and discuss that, drop us a line. The Slightly Warped Podcast at yahoo.com. If you're on a podcast feed or watching on YouTube, you can jump in the comments right then and there. I look at all of them, so it's all good. Let us know. Let us know what else you want to hear from us, whether it be a True Crime Thursday or any other topic. We'd love to hear from you. And even though this was a pretty somber one, we're going to get back to some craziness next week and uh, see how many times we can make you laugh next week. How's that, America and abroad? Don't know if I got
And
anybody that
abroad.
watches
Hold
anywhere
on.
else.
When you say abroad, do you mean a woman or are you talking about?
Beyond America. Uh, I will not use any slang terms for women because I don't want to get hit with any allegations or come across as demeaning.
Yes, especially in this day and age. We don't want to be canceled. Yes, gotcha.
No, no. I
We
have
love
not yet
everybody.
begun to fight, so I'm not ready to be canceled.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna
Yes.
leave everybody with this little tidbit, and it's gonna be because we're called slightly warped, so this will probably tick some people off. But since I read something or seen a video the other day, and it was questionable about the LGBTQ community, right?
Okay.
What does the L stand for?
Is it lesbian?
What's the G stand for?
Gay?
LG. What's the B stand for?
Bisexual?
What does bisexual mean?
I thought it meant that you like both men and women.
So in the LGBTQ community, they're telling you there's only two genders. See you next week,
Right.
guys. Love each other. Love each other. Tell somebody that you love them. Tomorrow's not promised. check on your boys, homies. June, mental health awareness for men. We tend to keep all that shit bottled up. And yeah, enough said. Love each other. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.